Perfect.
Hi, Peggy. Hey Blake, last time I did this research plus I had a form that I had made up.
Oh.
And I had a list of everybody that had asked me to email it to them. I gave it to Lisa because I was missing 3 email addresses.
Okay.
I don't think I ever got it back.
Oh.
And her office is closed now.
Okay.
But there are 3 people that like I said, I was asking her for the email addresses.
Let me.
I don't know if she still has that.
She probably does, but I have no idea where.
Yeah.
I don't want to dig through her stuff. I could look.
Yeah, see if it's like readily available. You had made some notes on it.
Okay.
How you doing?
Yeah, doing pretty good.
Good.
Going a little crazy some days, but mostly pretty good. We're going nuts trying to figure out how to. You showed me the one day when I sat in the room with you for a while.
Mm-hmm.
How to print up labels.
Yep.
And then I must not have written down 1 or 2 steps. Are you gonna be going over that today?
Sure. Yep.
Okay, great.
So whoever's on Zoom, we're going to get started in a few minutes. This is going to be a very informal, casual. I don't have like a whole agenda. Really what I'm looking for is participation and questions. So feel free to ask away.
It's not going to let you minimize because you're recording.
Oh yeah, that's right. So I have to maximize this one. Okay, there we go.
Do you just need the email addresses, or did you want that form? Because I might have a copy of the form.
Yeah, if you have a copy of it, that'd be great. I can't find it to save my life.
Been busy.
Selling a lot of land.
That's good.
Big time shortage on houses right now.
And I just got.
First time in a long time, I don't have any residential houses pending.
I'm
talking like 6-7 years that I always have something pending.
What was that one house you had, the 4, you get rid of that one, the 419?
No, that's still active. Yeah.
Because Dawn was putting that all over the place. She put it up in Jersey, New York, California.
That one's getting a lot more attention now because there's less houses on the market. But that one's been on for quite a while.
I'm surprised.
It's overpriced. It's not overpriced, it's overimproved for that neighborhood.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Okay, great.
And there's no pool, right?
No pool.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing.
So, do you need a copy of this? This is from the last class that we did. That's just summarizing the different resources and stuff. Would you mind making 2?
I mean, I just see the pictures. I think it looks nice. Are the owners still living there, or are they?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what I'm doing now, or what we're going to be going over, let me see who we have in class. Okay, so we got a few people on Zoom. Bobby's here in the class. Hey, Lucas, how are you?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Good.
How you doing?
So this is in addition to the last research class that I did, which went over all the different resources that we have available, including the MLS, Realist, the county websites, the maps. So this is kind of extending on to that. And what we're going to focus on is doing a little bit more specific market research for certain neighborhoods. So for instance, if you're trying to figure out maybe a new neighborhood that you want to start farming and really give some attention to and create a relationship with those people, we can research that specific neighborhood. So number one, you want to find out how many homes are in that neighborhood. And then on top of that, you want to find out how many of those homes have sold in the past year. That's gonna give you an idea on your turnover ratios,
Mm.
how many homes are actually selling. If people are staying in those homes for, 5 to 10 years, thank you so much, then it's not likely that you're gonna get a whole lot of business
Right.
from that area. So we wanna try to target and learn how to research the neighborhoods that are going to provide you with the highest chance of generating sales.
Oh.
So just for fun, I thought that maybe we could start by researching Boca Royale in Englewood.
Mhm.
Right here in the MLS, just type in the subdivision name. And I'm searching all active, pending, and sold within the past year. We've got 118 matches. Oh, let me just make sure I do Englewood because there could be another subdivision in a different town. Okay. Hey, for you guys that are on Zoom, am I sharing the screen? Can you see what I'm doing?
No, go ahead and share screen. And
There
then
we
click
go.
share.
Okay,
Okay, now you share.
now we should be good. Yep, okay. So I'm searching for MLS activity, active, pending, and sold in the past year in Boca Royale. And this is just going to give you an example on how you would research the particular neighborhood that you want to target. So we've got 20 active properties in Boca Royale right now, which to me seems like a lot.
Yeah.
Wow. Whew.
Right. Wow.
And we've got 10 pending. For 218. So we've got about 80 properties that have sold there in the past year. 20 active, 10 pending, 80 sold. Those seem like some pretty good numbers.
Yeah.
Who's that?
That's Marlene, I think.
Hi.
Hi, sorry.
No, I like that I can hear you. That's good.
If you're on Zoom, you can unmute yourself and ask questions, and Jen will be able to hear you.
Yes, I like
Okay.
that. Okay. So now that we've got the MLS information together, now we can research it. I like Realist. IMAP is another good resource. I'm not as familiar with IMAP. But you can, in Realist, you can also do the same thing here and do Boca Royale. So what I'm doing right now is I want to see how many homes are actually in there. So we said we had about 80 that sold, I think,
Mhm.
in the past year. This is going to be important for you to know when you do start having conversations with those people in that neighborhood. You want to be able to tell them. So there are 575 homes in Boca Royale. 80 have sold in the past year. So we've got about 14% of those homes have sold in the past year. That's going to be the big number that you want to look at, and you can start to compare to different neighborhoods.
Mhm.
So I mean, maybe you want to target a neighborhood that has more like 20 or 25% of their inventory that's turning over every year. And then, of course, once you target an area like this and you make it your farm or your specialty, you're gonna wanna make sure that you stay on top of what's going on in it. So I would set myself up on a property search. That way I'm instantly notified when something new becomes for sale. And then you can position yourself as that expert, send out a postcard to everybody and say, hey, guess what's listed for sale in your neighborhood?
Mhm.
You should get permission to market somebody else's listing, but
When you say target, you mean just like actually initially when you find something like that, you send out mailings to that neighborhood or?
yeah, so if you want to position yourself as a market expert for a specific neighborhood and you want to send periodic informative mailings, postcards, flyers, whatever you want.
Gotcha.
Some people will send newsletters. I mean, 575 houses times the postage, you've got to work within your budget too on
Yeah.
what you want to spend and kind of determine which area is going to be the best for you to target. But yeah, so this all goes to, ideally you want to send these people some information at least a few times a year if you really want to position yourself as that neighborhood expert. Sorry about that. So back to realist, we've got 575 homes. And now what we can do here is, okay, we've got the last sale date. Okay, so you can see that the most recent sale there was in August of 2020. Another thing you could do is you can kind of narrow it down by just the people who maybe have owned it for 3 years or more. Those are the people that are going to be most likely to list and sell. Somebody who just closed this year,
Probably
not necessarily a waste of money or time, but it's going to take more time for that person to really think of you when the need comes. Do you know what I mean? So you can go down here, so you can categorize each column here. I'm looking for, okay, so the oldest sale that's on here is 1999. We've got 3 in 1999, bunch in 2000. These are all newer homes, so that's why. But this will give you a general idea on when the activity started there.
Mhm.
There's a lot of information that you can find out just from here alone. And then, of course, you've got the owners' names and everything. Keller Family Limited Partnership. I think that's just a coincidence. So let's say now I've narrowed down my list and I'm going to select all, but let's say I've just narrowed it down to 500. Okay, and now I've got these 500 people that I'm going to target. Obviously, you're going to need to update your records as new properties sell, and but just to start off with this, say I've got 500 people. So now you can go to labels, and right here it's already pre-templated for you. You've got the label sheet. You can choose, I'm going to use all capital letters, and then you always want to send it to the tax billing address because they may not live at the property. So you want to send it to the address that's on the tax records. And we're going to show the current owner. When you hit create labels, this is going to automatically put it onto a Word document for you that you can put your label sheet right in your printer and print it out. So we would get a sheet that would pop up and have all those labels on it. And then you want to keep that as your master template, basically. Are there any particular neighborhoods that anybody wants to look at or research that I can do?
Can you do just a specific condo complex?
Yeah. We can.
Can we do Tamarind Gulf to Bay?
Uh-huh. we'll do active, pending, sold. And like I said, once you determine which neighborhood you're gonna kind of target, you wanna set yourself up on a property search. This way you're notified when there's new activity. Obviously, you can't really track for sale by owners in that area unless you're driving by once in a while, but this will at least you keep up to date on the MLS. So we've got 32 matches in Tamarind. Oh, there's a few different ones, Gulf and Bay.
Yeah,
Like-
Gulf and Bay, yep.
So in Tamarind, Gulf and Bay in Englewood, we've got 2 properties actively for sale, very different prices, 3 pending, and about 8 sold in the past year.
Yeah, those price differences, they are drastically different units, even though they're all in the same unit.
Yep. So here you would select them all. Set yourself up on an auto email.
You don't want to set them up for, or select them all if you want an auto email. Those are the only properties that you're going to hear about. You're not going to hear about any new properties.
It will notify you if there are new active properties, yes.
It won't.
Mine does.
It does?
Yep. You have to
Mine-
make sure you have active, pending, and sold.
Okay, then that's been changed on the MLS, obviously.
Yep.
Because I was under the
I have
impression.
several searches set up for myself. I get notified of new listings in Foxwood.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'm wrong. Thank you. Learn something new. It pays to come on.
So here you just creating an email for myself. You have new activity in Tamarind. You can choose to instantly notify you or send you a daily update, save it, and then you're going to have to click on a link to activate the search. If you don't click on the link in the email that you get, then your search will not be activated. And then you can do the same thing here on Realist. I'll just select a few just for the purposes of the class. Okay, so here we have 56 results. Most recent sale was in April of, oh, hold on. April of 2018, no, never mind. Sorry, going to the top. October of 2019. That's surprising. But the MLS showed something different, didn't it?
Was that listed to be leased then?
No. It sold for 290,000. Gulf and Bay. 2955. That was unit A511. Here it is. Okay. So there hasn't been a whole lot of activity here. You can do the same thing. You can, if you want to specialize and you want to send something to all those property owners, maybe you could say something like, activity in Tamarind has been slow and we're looking for new listings. Try to think of something creative to get some activity going in there. Another way that you can search, does everybody know how to do a search with a polygon? So let's say we're not looking for a subdivision. I went over this a little bit in the last class. Of course, you can check off expired as well if you want to see what has expired in that area. If there's a specific set of streets or area that you want to search, you can do that here using the polygon tool. So let's say, for instance, I want to select just this section of Gulf Cove. We're going to get our polygon tool here, draw our lines. There we go. So now we've got activity in this area, and this is sold within 6 months. We've got 19 homes for sale. A lot of activity here. So that seems like a hot little area to me. The prices are good. We've got about 36 properties that are pending, 19 currently for sale. There's more pending than there is active. That's really good. And then we have about 100 properties that have sold in the past 6 months. Let's see what's gone on in the past year. So we've got about 170 sales in the past year. So now what we need to know is how many homes are in that area total. That's a little bit more difficult to research on Realist without a subdivision name, because I don't think this lets you draw that polygon tool. That would be really nice if it did. If anybody knows anything different, please let me know. Drawing tools. Ooh. Maybe we can. Let's try it. Okay, I think this is going to work. Maybe not. Sorry, I tried. But it appears that you can use that. I'm just not that familiar with it, and I'm sorry about that. Maybe we have to give it some more information. But as you can see, you can do a lot of different research to try to figure out what areas are going to have the best chances of having houses that are going to need to be sold. A lot of the manufactured home parks, people will just own that pretty much until they die, or it goes to their family. And then you're dealing with a lot of potential trust agreements for sellers, maybe some probate, possibly power of attorneys. So it's really gonna depend on what you wanna kind of focus on and what you picture your little niche being. Does anybody have any questions I can answer?
If I was searching for 3 properties, they all wanted to be in the same location, you know, same street, say. Is there a way to like narrow that down, or you just have to look through on the map and see what's?
You wanna find, say that again, you wanna find 3 properties on the same street
Yeah, that are touching like lots.
for sale?
Yeah, like I have a client, and then I go into the map and I kind of like narrow down that way through, you know, just looking. Is there a way to like type anything in or put them on
So the field, the question is there a way to find multiple adjoining lots for
Yes.
sale?
Yeah.
The best way to do that is to use the additional parcels field.
Mhm.
So if, say you've got 3 single lots, 3 separate deeds, but all 3 of them are being sold.
Mhm.
If you list that in the MLS, you should be checking off additional parcels available
Oh, okay.
right here. And then that listing agent should list the other parcel ID numbers so that you can refer to each of those 3.
All right.
It should also be reflected in the description that there are 2 other lots available as well.
Mhm.
So if you search for additional parcels, yes. Let's just say in Northport,
That's my client.
and let's say, I don't know, under 15,000. Okay, so we got 96 matches. The problem with this additional parcels field is that they may not be side by side. So you can have additional parcels available with the same owner a couple streets down. So it's not a foolproof way to search for that. And that's always been one of my big issues, because I work with a lot of land buyers that want double lots. So you have to explain that to them.
Okay.
I'm gonna select this field for you, but it may not mean that they're right next to each other. It could just be the same owner.
Okay.
But your chances are more likely to find double lots or side-by-side lots if you select that field,
Okay. Great.
as long as the listing agent selected that field.
Yeah.
So you have to rely on the information that's available, you know.
Mhm.
So you can see here, your buyer would get something like this.
Mhm.
And then you can see here that there's a couple next to each other. There's 2 side-by-sides here. There's a few here, but these are singles.
Mhm.
So that's the best way to do it. I really wish that our MLS would add a field to where you could say adjoining lot also for sale.
Yeah.
And then we could just check yes on that.
Yeah.
That would be great.
That'd be nice.
But there's a lot that they have to go through to make any kind of change.
Oh, okay.
A lot of red tape and boards and commissions that it has to be brought to. It's not easy to make changes like that. Same thing that we have to go through here at Keller Williams if we need to change something in DocuSign.
Mhm.
It all has to go be approved and everything. So, yeah, it would be nice if we had a better system to search for side-by-side lots, but that's the best that I know about.
Okay. It helps out.
Okay. Yeah. You can also search specific street names. So let's say I wanted to kind of do this section here from Winchester over to Spinnaker, this little square here. If you don't want to do the polygon tool, you can just type in, let's do Gulfstream. There's going to be a lot of people on Gulfstream because that's a big road. And then obviously you want to make sure that you type in Englewood as well, because there can be multiple towns. And with this, you can also get a snapshot on how many properties are residential compared to how many are just vacant land as well. So we've got 218 homes coming up in Englewood. So here, the land use column is going to show what types of properties you have there. Got a few churches, got a few duplexes, residential vacant. This is all vacant land. And while you're browsing through this, you can kind of get an idea on who owns it too. You know, like I would just be wondering, is there a developer or a builder that owns multiple lots? And there probably is. So there's a lot of vacant land. So if you wanted to target vacant land on Gulfstream Boulevard, you can select all of those. Once you select all of them, then I would categorize my remaining results by owner name, because you don't want to send to the same postcard to the same person, right? So I would only do one of these Greater Tomorrow assets. So this gives you an idea of who owns those vacant properties in that column there. And then, of course, you can look at the sale dates and everything. So there's a lot of different ways that you can research, you know, and get creative too. I don't think that a lot of realtors in general frequently target specific neighborhoods or farming. It's something that works for sure and is proven to work over time. It can be a great investment for you, but you really have to work it and you got to stay on top of it. So that's another way to do things a little bit differently, especially in a market like this where we're looking for something new and a new way to present ourselves to people and say, hey, I'm here, you know, I want to sell in your neighborhood. You could do this section of Grove City and take out the manufactured homes. There's not a lot of them. You could also even just focus on waterfront in Grove City if you wanted to do that too. So. Any other questions? What can I go over specifically for anybody?
Like search wise or just like?
Yeah, anything.
Okay, I have a dude, he wants a condo in Santa Maria Island.
Santa Maria Island.
Yeah.
Where is that?
Not sure. He's looking to spend $500,000.
Is it in Florida?
I think, yeah.
Okay.
He lives in Venice right now. He's got
That's a good
condo.
thing. I'm just joking. Santa Maria Island, is that
Is
the
it-
name of the town?
No, I think it's,
It's owned by Sarasota.
yeah, it's probably that.
Santa Maria Island.
That sounds right.
Yes, I know where that is. Okay.
Yeah, my Illinois is showing.
Anna Maria Island. I don't know if that's a city.
'Cause there
That's
is
more like a section.
there's a Santa Maria Island, but that's in the Caribbean.
Oh, okay.
Not that one then.
Blake's Google.
Yeah, I'm all about it.
Anna Maria. It's coming up as a city, but there's no activity there. Oh, wait. That's because I have 15,000 still
Yeah,
on
it's
here.
not gonna be 15,000 there.
Yes, some money over that.
And let's deselect this here. Yeah, so yeah, you would just type in the town. Or if it's a section of a town, you can use that polygon tool to search just that section. I have a client who wants to buy a house, but only if it's eligible for membership in the Englewood Gardens Beach Club. And that was pretty tricky to set up that search because it's sporadic through the town of Englewood. So I contacted the Englewood Gardens Beach Club. I had them send me a map of all the qualifying properties. I had to do 3 different polygons. So he's got 3 different property searches because you can't do multiple polygons on one search, which would be another nice thing,
Yeah.
right? So, yep. So yeah, you would just select the type of property. So for instance, if they're looking for a condo, oh, I'm on a land search. I'm sorry, that's why I'm not getting any results. Let's go to residential. So we're looking on Anna Maria. So if they want a condo, I would select condo, townhouse, and villa. Okay, so we've got only 1 property available. So with something like this, you would need to let your buyer know you're not going to be able to get too picky with
Yeah,
the number of bedrooms and the square footage because there's only 1. So why don't you let me just set up a general search for Anna Maria condos with nothing else, this way you can see when something becomes available. And that's listed for $575.
the right price range.
You know, just keep in mind though, I just want to advise you a little bit about that. If you're not familiar with an area, you really should be seeking out some assistance from somebody who is.
Gotcha.
It's in your client's best interest, and that's our whole goal in business.
Especially it's my.
I'm taking the code of ethics class right now and the core law, and it's very specific on that.
Gotcha.
So just something to keep in mind. You don't want to present yourself as an expert if you truly aren't. And there's no shame in saying, you know, hey, my license covers Florida, but I'd like to bring on an associate who can further help me with this and be hands-on in that specific area. We would partner up together.
I just did that.
Yeah.
To Key West.
There
I
you
was
go.
ready to join the Key West MLS because we're gonna go down there for the weekend and there's some houses, but then I really, realized it's better. There's so much different stuff going on down there.
Yeah.
That you have to worry about.
Yep.
That we have no idea about.
You could also set up your neighborhood on a hot sheet as well. These hot sheets you can go in and review anytime you want. They don't email to you, but you can still go on. So if I want to see, this should be, today's Monday, so it's a perfect opportunity for me to get up to date on what happened over the weekend on my, so we're gonna go 3 days back. And I have an update for Northport, Englewood, Venice, and Port Charlotte. So just in the past 3 days, this is interesting. It doesn't let me count, but it looks like there's about 10 or so new listings. Oh, sorry. Yeah, maybe about 8. 3 price decreases, and a bunch of them going back on the market. That's a lot of back on the markets, I think. So a lot of stuff fell through this past weekend. This is something to also review regularly, because then you can say to your buyers, hey, I look at this every day and I'm noticing that a lot more properties are falling through. This is right next to my old house. And we have 4 closings since Friday. 1 expired. That's in Englewood. So I like to think of this as like reading your morning newspaper, just getting a quick overview and recap of what's been going on. Sorry, we had 4 properties expire in Englewood. Bunch of them went under agreement. We had 1 listing cancel, and then this goes over to Northport. So we've got a good amount of new listings in Northport in the past 3 days. Decent amount of price decreases, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 properties back on the market. A lot more sold. So there's a lot more sales activity going on in Northport than Englewood for sure. You can customize this for just residential, you can have it include everything if you want. But this list that I have includes condos, manufactured homes, and single-family homes. So that's the hot sheet. I usually just print this out and then look at it. I'm just still a paper person. Lucas knows that, he's been in my office. Papers everywhere. Anything else that we can go over? Like I said, I don't have this big long agenda on what to go over, but you know, I want to let everybody know that you can use these resources to really do some interesting research.
Did you go over structures?
No, we did last
Oh,
time.
yeah, okay.
I can go over scrub J's again if anybody needs a refresher. Trying to see like who's in here. Oh, here we go. Okay. Anybody on Zoom have any questions I can help with? Feel free to speak up. Otherwise, we're probably going to wrap it up. You know, I never even noticed this little section over here on the right that summarizes everything. We have 337 active listings in our office.
Oh, click on that more up there at the top. It just flashed.
Where?
Keep going up higher, higher, higher. Okay, now scroll over to more. Click on chat.
Okay.
Couldn't you check this so long?
So yes, I have a comment that says, couldn't you check additional lots and 20,000 square feet? Yes, you can. So we're going back to where you would want to search for adjoining lots. I would actually do two different searches for that. I would do one search selecting the additional lots available, and then a second search for over 20,000 square feet, because that would be a double lot. But if you do 20,000 square feet and additional lots on the same search, it's going to conflict and confuse it. So your client really should be getting two searches. Does that make sense? Yep, good point, thank you. So let's take a look and get familiar with what we at Keller Williams have for sale. Always a good idea to know your office's inventory, right? RLSE. What's that one? Anybody know? Property type RLSE? Residential lease. Yeah, okay, those are leases, residential leases, okay. So, and look at that, Blake, all in Tamarind.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so who's got all that?
I bet it's in the brackets.
It is. Yep,
They have all of those.
Oh, yeah. So Lon and Rebecca.
yeah, those are all for rent.
Tamarind, and then they own their own property management company for rentals.
Gotcha.
I see the vision.
Look at all our land listings. Ooh. We got a lot of land listings. You can customize your view here too. I think a lot of this stuff is gone over in the basic MLS class, but you can move it. I sell a lot of land, so I'm just kind of curious to see who's got it. So Sean, we know Sean has a lot. Irina's got a good amount of land listings. Yeah, we're doing good with that. So it looks like we've got some good coverage. More land. I'm getting to the residential. Okay. So that's interesting. This doesn't allow you to view the map through this link. Because that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to get a quick snapshot of where we have all these properties. So can I show you guys how you can search it and look at the map? You want to see that?
Yeah.
So let's just, okay, so now we have to do it by category. That's too bad. So this link shows you all the different categories in all of our offices listings, but you can't look at them on the map. So if we want to search all of Keller Williams residential homes that are active, we would do a detailed search here. We have 48 residential properties currently for sale. Some in Sarasota, most in Venice, Englewood, Northport, and Port Charlotte. We got. So another quick tip too, you could even say to a client, you know, our office currently has 48 residential listings. And then you can even go a little bit further than that and say, we have sold we have 378 residential sales in the past year. Currently 48 active, 378 sold. It's really good to know numbers. Do you guys know how to search for production reports? You want me to go over that at all? Under market reports, we can do office market share. These are the reports that we see every month, typically. Let's just do August. So we'll rank it by total number of transactions. And then we'll do the Englewood Board of Realtors. So you can see in the month of August, Paradise Exclusive had more closings than we did. We're usually right at the top too. They're creeping up on us. We had 61 closings, Paradise Exclusive had 72. Remax Alliance Group, Michael Saunders. If we rank this by number of transactions where we have the listing, let's see what that looks like. Okay. Same thing. 60, actually it's tied, 62 and 62. So we each closed 62 listings, Keller Williams and Paradise Exclusive last month. Good idea to keep an eye on what your competition is doing. You can search individual market reports as well, and this might be a good idea for you guys to do. Or actually, you know, you could even use a report like that as part of your listing presentation to really position our company to show, you know, where we're at. Especially as a new agent, when you don't have a lot of your own history to use, lean on your company, you know, and lean on the associates here, because we're all part of one team. But you can search agent market share as well, agent production. And this is for anybody in the MLS, so if you're just curious to know, like every year or every 6 months, I usually go in and do this just to kind of get an idea on where I'm at. So if I search January 1st to the end of June, and then I'll search my agent ID. This will show you my activity for the first 6 months of this year. So we had 21 closings, total volume of 1.5 million, average days on market of 190 days. That's high because I sell a lot of land. Not that great numbers. I'm not happy with it. But you can still use a report like this as well. Lots of different ways that you can customize things. Yeah, so there's, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself an expert necessarily in this field, but I am very experienced. There's still a lot, even on the MLS, as I look around here, that I don't really use or don't know what it does. So it'd probably be a good idea for me to take an updated MLS class to learn about that. And we have tons and tons of resources and links here. These are all very, very helpful. Anything else we can go over? Everybody all set?
I think so.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jan.
Okay, you're
Yes, thank you.
welcome. I hope that helps a little bit.
Absolutely.